There's a hot new rumor about the new PlayStation Portable that Sony's developing. Yes, they're developing a new PlayStation handheld. Is it going to be the PS Vita 2? Is it going to be the PSP 2? Let's talk about the new rumors. This is it straight from Game & Bolt. PS6 Portable can run PS5 games without work from developers. It's going to be a portable PS5 in the palm of our hands. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Anyways, guys, please like, subscribe, click the bell icon before we get into this video. Let's talk about the PSP 2, PS Vita 2, whatever they're going to call it. It's going to be exciting. Don't forget to check our links down below in the video description for some really great tech and tech deals and all that good stuff. Anyways, without further ado, let's talk about the PSP 2. Let's go. So as you guys know, PlayStation are hoping to release a brand new gaming handheld to rival, obviously, the newly announced and soon to re-released Nintendo Switch 2. It's not going to be the PlayStation Portable. It's not going to be a cloud-only device. It's going to be able to play fully fledged games without the need for an internet connection, without the need to stream games, right, to it from a cloud server somewhere. And I'm so excited. I've been waiting. I've been a massive fan. I got the PSP, the original PSP imported from Japan back in the day. I remember the Ridge Racer. I remember the frustration that everything was in Japanese, and even when I did change the language to English, it was still some of it was still in Japanese. Well, that's what you get when you order something from, you know, Japan before it releases in the UK or the US, right? But I learned my lesson. Anyways, they're working on a new handheld. Let's take a look at some of the rumors that Game & Bolt has posted. So PS6 Portable can obviously run PS5 games without work by developers. It's a rumor, but I think this is going to be true. So developers might still want to end up releasing an update for their games on the rumored console to improve performance, however. So it's going to be kind of like the PlayStation 5 Pro, right? Obviously, it's going to use the same assets. It's going to use the same things. They're just going to have to add like a little profile update to basically tune down the settings, tune down the graphics, and play with some of the graphics and graphic settings, and then turn on PSSR, etc., and change the resolution. Just basic things, but things that are already baked into the game on the back end that just require a couple of switches being flipped. And it's not going to require, you know, optimizing it for the PSP 2, unless it's super successful and they just want games to run at the max performance. They might still want to do that, but the key in the news here is the fact that it's not really going to require massive updates to games. Unlike the Switch 2, we're not going to have to wait and hope and pray that PS5 games get ported over to this thing. Basically, games, the majority of the PS5 library should work from day one, which is super exciting and obviously a big deal. Obviously, with the Switch 2 coming out, everyone's hyped up about a new console that can play new releases and whatnot, but we still have to wait for developers to port them over to the Switch 2 and for Nintendo to announce them. But the PS6 Portable should essentially just play things straight out the gate, and I think that's going to be a massive deal, especially for those of us who are PlayStation gamers already, PS5 gamers, and want to just play your library on the go on device. I think it's going to be awesome. So let's take a look at what it has to say. So while previous reports have indicated that the rumored PS6 Portable will be able to run PS5 games, albeit at lower resolutions, a new rumor indicates that the compatibility might go further than we first thought. In a post on the NeoGAF forums, Kepler, known as having correctly leaked the fact that the PS5 Pro makes use of RDNA 4 features back in September. So this guy, Kepler, has a track record of telling the truth and coming through on a lot of the stuff that he supposedly knows, right? He's posted that the portable PS6 has compatibility with the PS5 in terms of the shader binaries that are used. Interesting. Theoretically, this would mean that developers don't really have to do much to get their game running on the rumored console. Rather, the game will run on its own just fine. And since it doesn't need any extra compilation thanks to the shader binaries being available or compatible, on the other hand, Kepler does note that if left alone, the performance of the game on the console might not be ideal. Rather, developers will still likely have to do some work in optimizing their games to get it running on a portable PS6 at smooth frame rates. And again, that doesn't involve having to port it to the new console, much like developers have to do for the Switch 2. It just means making a new profile. Basically, kind of like, you know, they pushed out patches for the PS5 Pro, basically just to crank the graphics setting up, you know, increase the max frame rate, change the resolution depending on, you know, what setting you want it to do. It's just a couple of switches on the back end they have to flip and just make a little profile. Could probably be done in a day, honestly. And we already see all those settings and switches on the PC versions of games. Obviously, you can adjust the graphics, texture quality, the shading, etc., etc. It's literally like 5 minutes work or a little bit of tinkering and testing, but it doesn't require big, massive overwrites of code. Doesn't mean weeks and weeks of having to port it over to a new operating system, etc. It's literally just like a quick a little patch, just a quick little patch that just changes a couple of graphic settings, resolution, etc., frame rate here and there. It's really not a big deal. And this is big. This is really big. And I think this is going to set the PS6 Portable and apart from the Nintendo Switch 2, which I'm super hyped about. This ties in with previous reports that indicate that the rumored console will run off an SoC fabricated in the 3 nanometer mode. And again, that's pretty impressive compared to the Switch 2. And will be capable of using up to 15 watts of power, which I think is around the sweet spot. If you know about the Steam Deck, the Valve Steam Deck, which is like a portable gaming PC, I've done countless videos on it on my channel. It runs around 15 watts. Some of the other gaming handhelds, like the ROG Ally, Lenovo Legion Go, usually let you crank that up to 30 watts of power, but at the expense of battery life, right? So you'll get to run games at higher performance rates, but your battery life will be like 1 to 2 hours. And that's pushing it, depending on how intensive the game is. So I think Sony just wants to lock down, some uniformity across the power, power and performance. They don't want people to be tinkering with, their wattage, their TPU, TPU. I'm thinking of my 3D printing filament. But yeah, they're hoping to basically just set it at 15 watts and have developers optimize their games for 15 watts if they want to do that. While not high performance by any stretch, let's just keep in mind that the PS5, PS6 is like 200, 300 watts or something like that. The PS5 Pro. So 15 watts down from 200 watts for the PS5 or 200 something. I'm not sure of the specific numbers, but it's a big difference from 15 watts. Now, like I says, it's not high performance by any stretch. The efficiencies of modern chip fabrication does mean that the SoC should be fairly capable. According to Kepler, the power of the theorized gaming system will sit somewhere between a PS5 and an Xbox Series S, so it's bang in the middle. And obviously, it's not going to have to run games at 4K, all right? Just keep in mind, this new PS6 Portable, it's going to be running with a resolution of around, I'd say 1080p, where games on the PS5 are obviously optimized to run at 4K with 120 frames a second. So if we can, dial back some of the settings, run it at 1080p, use PSSR, obviously we're going to get a really comfortable, nice looking, buttery smooth, experience on the PS6 Portable with those settings changed and obviously at a lower resolution, which is fine. And I hope we get 120 hertz display, because better frame rates obviously help just smooth things out and make things feel a lot more responsive. And obviously with the improvements coming to PSSR, FSR4, etc., we're obviously going to see things just get better and better in terms of the upscaling front. So obviously I think this is going to look really good when it comes out. PSSR is going to be pretty mature by the time it comes out, because as we know, Sony's working with AMD to basically optimize PSSR and use new technologies, new techniques to basically get the most out of whatever hardware that they have, right? It also says this also means the SoC used for the portable PS6 will be different from what we've seen on the main console. According to the report, the handheld's console chip was specifically designed to be able to run at low wattages, so they basically worked on this chip to make it as efficient as possible. I'm not surprised. Obviously, AMD are the manufacturer for the SoC on the PS5 and all the Xbox consoles. And they already make handheld, very efficient, power efficient chips, portable SoCs, which we've seen, like I said, in gaming handheld PCs. So the hardware's already there. It's not like they're making something specific only for Sony. They've obviously been pumping out handheld SoCs for a long time, and they're getting better and better. Just look at the ROG Ally, the Lenovo Legion Go S, etc., that are using the latest Z2 Extreme processors, APUs, and they're getting really great performance in a lot of AAA games like Elden Ring, like Cyberpunk. We're getting upwards 60, 70, 80 FPS, especially with upscaling factored in. So by the time this comes out, I will not be surprised if we're going to be in for some really nice surprises here. Now, as the article makes out, Sony's far from making any proper confirmation of a new generation of PlayStation consoles being in the works. But we know it's more or less official at this point, guys. Xbox is making theirs. They're also working with a third party. They're working with Asus to make the ROG Xbox handheld, which is coming out later this year, which is going to be cool. But Sony's, it's officially, not officially, but officially behind the scenes in production, well, not in production, but obviously getting worked on. It's in development, and this is a for sure thing. They want to try and, they saw how popular the PlayStation Portal was, right? They saw how much people enjoy being able to take their games on the go around the house. Obviously we've seen gaming handheld PCs just take off, and people just love it. And obviously the Switch 2 that's coming out, gaming handhelds are here to stay. They took a little backseat for a while. Obviously, when the PS4 came out, PS Vita 2, it just wasn't what everyone was expecting. I don't think the world was ready for that. But with everyone being so busy these days, I think this is the perfect time to capitalize on, you know, being able to take your games anywhere. And obviously, PS Portal showed that even though games are not run on the device and they're cloud streamed from a server somewhere, it's proof of concept that this thing is successful. People enjoy it. People want to use it. People want to sit out in the backyard and play games. So PlayStation are all in on this. Absolutely all in. I mean, imagine playing Gran Turismo on the go and it's running on the device with no latency, no lag from a server, no internet required, although you might want to connect to internet for online racing, etc. But yeah, look, how cool would that be? So yeah, don't expect this to come out this year or anything, but it's in the works, and a statement by the company in 2022 indicate the console could launch sometime after 2027. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it next year if they rush things up a little bit, but the statement made during Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard also included the company's worries at the time of not getting Call of Duty games on its platforms in light of the acquisition. And obviously the rumors about Sony working on a handheld system to accompany the home console release of the PS6, so we could be getting the PS6 and the PS6 Portable alongside each other, which would be sick. Which one would you buy? Would you buy the new PS6, or would you buy a PS6 Portable that, granted, is not going to run run games at higher resolutions and as higher frame rate as the PS6, obviously, because it's a portable device? Would you prefer or opt to get a PS6 Portable to play the same games, but, you know, on the go, and sacrificing your graphics and your frame rate and performance and playing on a 4K, 8K TV just to have that portableness? Would you get both? Would you get the PS6 and the PS6 Portable? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm super excited to hear what you have to say. Obviously, handhelds are here to stay. They're successful. Nintendo Switch 2, as an example. Steam Deck, as an example. ROG Ally, Lenovo Legion Go, Ionia devices. Gaming on the go is back. It's back. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Xbox handheld. Can't wait for the Switch 2. Cannot wait for the new PS6 Portable. Let me know what you're thinking about. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm Blazed OK. Come hang out, come talk about handhelds, gaming, Switch 2, PS6, PS6 Portable, all that good stuff on the channel, because we cover it every day. Anyways, I love you, I appreciate you, I'll see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, click the bell icon, and yeah, have a great day.
Let's go.